Welcome back from the break. This is still TV3Newday, and this is it for me today. It's actually a privilege to be breathing the same air with my guest this morning. I'm about to let you into her world, let you know the kind of person I'm about to have this conversation with. So to start off, her name, Dr. Michaeline Holder March. That is her name. Now, she's a certified healthcare executive by the World Health Organization. Now, she's got a lot of experience in both public and private healthcare and social care as well. When it comes to COVID-19, she is a frontliner, especially in the infection prevention and control unit for COVID-19, especially in the area of mass gatherings and risk assessment also. Now, she's an official member of the Forbes Coaches Council, which is a very big one. We'll be talking about it this morning. And I could go on and on and on with her credentials. She's a fellow of Chartered Management Institute, fellow of Leadership Management, and fellow also of the Administrative Management. Now, I've talked about her healthcare endeavors, and I could just go. Your credentials are too many. I wish I could read all of them. Now, she's got so many recognitions from when she started till today. She's a community health transformational specialist and emergency preparedness specialist. She is a Women Advancement Gender Award winner in 2016. She was the keynote speaker at the American Cancer Society in 2018. Keynote speaker at the Shroom 2018 in London. It's a whole lot. Such a special woman that I'm about to have a conversation with this morning. Doc, I'm sorry I couldn't go through all of it. It would take the whole day if we were to go through all of it. But thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Such a privilege to be breathing the same air with you this yes. All these are inspiring me, and it tells me that I could also make it. But first off, the very first question I would ask you, when we had our prior conversation before this one, we both agreed that yes, it's a man's world. And how were you able to bag all these credentials in a man's world? How did you do it?
I think the very first thing is let's go back to basics. I think as women, we must recognize and empower each other. A simple thing, you're beautiful, you can do this. And I think that sort of language, is very important to strengthen and empower a young girl.
Right.
To know that you can do this, And I know you can do this is such a common phrase, but even though it's a man's world, if you have the strength and the endurance and your focus, there's no doubt about it, you will get there. But what happens is that people lose the very important aspect of that journey, and that is the focus. You must plan your journey, and you must be focused. And on that journey, you must pick up the right tools to keep you on that journey, or else you would lose track.
Your first few sentences are already loaded. Now, let's come to the element of focus. Is it normal that sometimes you lose focus? Is that normal?
Absolutely normal.
Okay.
It's like riding a bike, or it's like, you plan to go to a dinner party and then something comes in the way and then you don't go. But before you make that decision, what is the solution for you not going there? What was your intention? What did you aim to benefit from going to that?
Original intent.
Yeah. So, so by doing X, what would you gain? A lot of people do a lot of stuff, but there is no profitability.
Right.
There is no social network. There is no personal gain or professional gain. You're just riding the bus.
Right.
With no end. Yeah. So it's about taking that personal risk assessment and doing professional risk assessment. Am I doing this because professionally it will benefit me? Am I doing it because personally it will benefit me? If you can't answer those questions, then you don't need to get on that bus.
Okay. So keeping your focus, and then you talked about support system as well. Here in Ghana, you hear too many times that women are our own enemies. They will talk about women empowerment. But then again, some people would also say, okay, so the same women who preach women empowerment are the very women who pull other women down. Now, tell me, So which group of women did it for you? Was it your friends? Was it your family? Did you have a mentor who was a woman? Who pulled you along in your journey?
I'll tell you the fundamental thing. I have an incredible mother who is a professional, a retired professional. My grandmother was the first woman, to actually drive a truck, and so I come from and had a restaurant and bar, and my other grandmother was a bakery
in the UK?
in Trinidad.
Okay.
So and that is a very male-dominated society at that point.
She drove a truck.
And she drove a truck.
She was the first female to drive a truck.
Yes, and she get behind a tractor and all of that. So seeing that already had formed my future in the context of what I could and couldn't do.
Yeah.
But I think fundamentally, my mom is also strong. But I think most of as you go along your journey, you identify those who intentionally want to destroy who you are.
Yeah.
Broad hips.
There are people
big,
like
broad
that.
hips. You're wearing glasses. Your hair is too thick. All the colorism that goes on with the black race. It's so much. But then within that, I say to people, within all of that, within your family, within all of that, there are people who are fertilizers of who you are. They are put there to fertilize you. And you need to actually build on that relationship because it's not toxic. And it's really important for the fertilizers in your life for you to formulate relationship with them. You would meet them in your churches, you will meet them in your family, you will meet them in your professional life. For myself, I have met many incredible women and men who have actually identified the greatness that potentially I could be in the future. And I've actually fueled that. And that fuel I am very grateful for, and I don't burn bridges. I think it's really important for people to know that you don't burn bridges.
You don't burn bridges, yeah.
So even when you are given an opportunity to cross a bridge because someone has, basically throw themselves on the ground, allow you to walk on them so that you can get there. Always remember to turn back and reach out to them. But I want to address this thing about internationally, not only in Ghana, people go, oh, women destroy each other, women, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's because there is something called a female competition that we must erode between ourselves. Like when I met you, I said you're very beautiful.
Beautiful, you told me, yeah.
Yes, you, and so that beautiful is not only you physically, but how you come across. And we must share the good things about each other.
Yeah.
We must let it be part of our language.
Right.
And the women who are totally destructive in the context of the language they use and the poise and the mannerism and the status and all of that, they also destroy themselves. So they may not recognize it, but they are. This is like a poison fruit. So they're also poisoning themselves.
There's a whole lot to learn this morning from this wonderful woman, and I just hope that you're watching and learning as well. There's a whole lot that you have to download for us this morning. But I'm thinking, having all these credentials, working with the World Health Organization, COVID-19, and with Forbes as well, what brings you to this side of the world? What are you doing in Ghana?
So I've done, I did some work with United Nations, the Beijing network chapter. So I'm not employed by World Health, but I do a lot of work, the Beijing chapter for China and lots and lots of different places, ambassador for antimicrobial. But I do believe that if we, as Black Africans, Black Caribbean, do not invest in ourselves, then we cannot fly. Yeah? And being a healthcare professional, we have some of the best brains in the healthcare business, innovation, technology, clinical, recovery, from A to B, the whole journey, end of life. We do have it. The problem, it's all over the world and it's fragmented. So you might have a genius who's a brain surgeon, and it might be from Ghana, he might be from Nigeria, Rwanda, he might be from the Caribbean, but he's working in a hospital surrounded by lots of other people who become his peers. And my quest is to bring that rich knowledge back to Africa to the Caribbean so that healthcare professionals here can actually be creating that hub and exchange of knowledge that will help others.
I'm very impressed. Your profile also says that you read a law. So I'm thinking, why didn't you switch to law? Why healthcare? Why even dwelling on healthcare?
Law is important if you're doing healthcare. You need to
Tell
know
me
about clinical negligence.
Yeah, that's true though.
You must understand claims. You must understand how complaints can turn into claims. And if you are a healthcare professional, you must embark on doing at least a short course in law so you could understand why policies, procedures, and governance work with you. Because you might be in a climate and an environment where you make errors and all of that, which is normal. But when you are actually grossly negligent, there is a different understanding of what that looks like. And for also you to identify that as well. So it's really important that law is important for everyone to understand. You're driving your car, you know, everything that we do has a legal implication.
Exactly, implication to it. And you must be informed, of course.
Of course.
I see. Anyway, congratulations on all that you have done. Very, very impressive. But since we're still in the world of healthcare, let's talk about COVID-19. It's still raging. It's still here. Now, here in Ghana, in the beginning, we struggled a little bit to get even the vaccines into the country. Well, they finally made it here, but a larger portion of the population still do not want to take the vaccines. Well, some school of thought say the vaccines were rushed, they were not prepared properly, and there's a whole school of thought around it. What's your take on the vaccines? Were they rushed? Do you think so? And why are people not really encouraged to take the vaccines, especially on this side of the world?
I don't think it's only this side of the world, right across the globe.
But it's better.
But anyone who looks like us are really reluctant about it.
What is our issue?
And there are many reasons for it. Is that we know for a fact that historically there's a lack of trust in regards to our health when it's handled by other sources. And so therefore people are reluctant to embrace that. And when COVID came into being, the understanding of how many deaths you will have per capita, it focused heavily that Africa will supposedly be wiped out, because they didn't have all the infrastructure. We know that comparatively to England and lots of other places, it's not quite so. But however, COVID, the reasons why people give for not giving COVID, they believe they change their DNA. Some people believe that, you know, COVID doesn't really exist. They haven't met anyone who has it, who has died from it. There's lots of other, and they think it's other comorbidities that they die from. But what I say to everyone, is that even if you're not doing it for yourself, do it for the people who you're going to be around. You're elderly, you're vulnerable, those who really are ill in your society, and just one contact with you can end that person's life. And that is really, it's not about your self-care anymore. It's about the care for others. And no doubt about it, there are side effects to any of the COVID vaccinations or even the new pill that is out. But the fact is, you might be on birth control pills. Do you really know what to take? What is in it? You know, as a ordinary citizen,
and you still take it every day.
And you're taking it. You're taking it. You know, you might be taking blood pressure tablets. You know, you're hearing Pfizer, but there are lots of medication out there that Pfizer do, you know, provide to the wider population.
Even for common headaches.
So you know, I think the first thing is no doubt about it. I agree that the clinical trials should have been much more transparent on who is taking part in the clinical trials. And there was this propaganda that there wasn't blacks in clinical. Actually, there were. There were. But it's just that it wasn't opened and transparent enough for people to see. But what I want to say, Professor Rotimi's outside, but I want to say something. Coming into Ghana, I salute you all.
Thank you.
And actually, I invited Frontier to our
one
conference
of your engagements,
because the whole process really is to protect your population.
Tell us what we've done right.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It may seem long and lengthy and tedious and tiring, especially after a long flight. But on reflection, when we got back to the hotel, we sat back and we thought, this is what the UK need to do. It was amazing. I loved it. We loved it so much. I mean, this is Professor Rutimi Jaisimi, so it's not only myself. And this is a well-known established clinician all over the world for patient safety, boy, all of that.
Right.
And we were doing really a raw, we were destroying every aspect of landing to coming out. And we were blown away.
But many people say it's very unnecessary, the antigen test at the airport, because I test for COVID maybe 24 hours to 48 hours before I get on board. And sometimes if I even contract the virus on the plane, it may not even show when I land. So why do I need a COVID test when I get to the airport?
Well, actually, we talked about that. And I do agree with whoever it is has put that into me.
Okay.
Because they have no guarantee that it was done properly.
Okay.
What guarantee do you have?
Right.
Do they have?
Right. That it was done properly.
That it was done
Okay.
properly.
Okay.
So in the ratio of errors.
Right.
Yeah. That 3 miss. Let's say
Exactly.
that, those 3 can actually cause grave harm to your population. Yeah. So that's fine. But let's us make sure that we are certain by our process, our procedure, that when you go through that airport door, you are entering into our population. You got to circulate with our people. Our people already don't want to have the vaccination as it is. We don't want any problems. And you are coming in from abroad. So, there are so many different elements that, we had the Delta, we had so many different strains.
So many variants, yeah.
Yes, so many different variants. So we don't know what you're going to be coming in with, Michaeline.
Okay.
But let's just
So
make
you
sure.
definitely get tested when you get to the airport.
Let's just make sure that when you reach in Ghana, that Michaeline, you're not coming in with some new strain.
Right.
You don't have some temperature of some other infection that we don't know about, and you are safe to go through the doors. And we know when you go through those doors, we know that we've allowed a healthy person to come through that door who is non-infectious. And we love that.
Right. Now, when we started vaccinations here in Ghana, the concentration was on a group of people, of course, who were much, much older, and then people who had underlying conditions, and of course, parliamentarians, ministers, and all that. But now the Ghana Health Service is saying that they are bringing the age range to actually 15. If you're 15 and above, you should get vaccinated, because study or survey is actually showing that they are the ones transmitting.
Yes, schools. Yeah, school kids.
You agree to that?
I agree to that. We're doing that right now. I am the senior COVID infection lead for public health for an area for colleges, higher colleges and schools. And the stats reflect that completely. And however, we know that they go back home, mom get ill, grandma get ill, everyone gets ill.
Right.
And so therefore that is a really good public health measure.
So you think it's a step
I
in the right
love it. I'm
direction.
sorry, but I do love it.
Well, she agrees to it.
I've been championing this for a long time, and I'm really happy to see it.
So if you are 15 out there and above, you're a student, just know that vaccinations are open to you wherever you are.
And you should
because
take it.
study is showing that you are actually the ones spreading the virus. We need to stop the spread. So make sure that if you're 15 and above, you get vaccinated. But I'm sure that information will be coming through your schools, so you know exactly where to go to get vaccinated. So just make sure you're tuned into TV3 or TV3Newday. We'll be bringing you all the updates on that one. But lastly, on COVID-19, Pfizer says it's developed a single pill that you can take when you get COVID-19, and 89% they are very sure that you can get well. What do you think?
I think the evidence, the scientific evidence, I need to see a little bit more.
What do you want to see?
Whenever a new, and just like a new product, but anything new in regards to medicine development, definitely it is a welcome, and I really applaud that. Especially people like me who hate injections. However,
so you rather do the pill than injections?
I would do the pill any day. However, one of the things that I would like to see is how that take into context diversity, people with different comorbidities, how it work with them. and whether or not you would need a booster.
And you want to see black people
and I
in
want
the
to see
clinical
black
test.
people in the clinical test. You knew I was going to say that, didn't I?
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
So that's why I'm a little bit, I'm really happy about the development. I'm very pro for it, but I just need to see how it actually, because we do know for the Caucasian population, the effects of COVID is quite different in some contexts to the black population. So we need to really understand that. As for the black population, we've been taking a lot of vitamin D. We lost a lot of healthcare workers comparatively to our other counterparts. And it might be due to PPE. There's so many reasons for that. But I think what we want to focus on now is that there's new innovation and development in the health field in regards to that. And the question is, what's next? How can we make sure that that tablet, that pill, it is quite effective for our people.
They say 89%
and 89%
when it comes
is
to the
effective.
treatment.
I want to get it up. I want to get it a little bit higher and just see a little bit of
so
more.
How much higher would work for you? Maybe 93, 95%?
At least 95%.
95% for the treatment of COVID.
Yeah, because, if they had said to me that you're going to take a tablet and then in a year time, you're going to take sort of like another tablet, like a booster, but they said this is it.
This is it, just one pill for the treatment.
And because I have seen the gravity, the end result, the outcome of COVID. It's very harsh illness to have. The lungs, it can take you like that. I really need to see a little bit more. That's personally, that is not a professional explanation.
We'll keep an eye on that, both of us. We'll see how that goes. And of course, we will keep you updated here at TV3Newday as well. Now, let's leave all of that healthcare and COVID and come to Forbes. Now, you are an official member of the Forbes Coaches Council. That's huge. How did you land yourself over there?
I've been transforming organizations for a long time and doing a lot of organizational restructuring. I've been a director all through the NHS and worked different places all over. And I think, coaching is very important. And when we come back to women empowerment, it's really important to be able to pass the baton to men or women and mentor that person and coach that person. I firmly believe in that. Knowledge is not good unless you can share it and help someone to actually discover who they are. And so I was approached by a coach who was part of the Forbes and said, would you consider becoming part of this? And I'm like, oh my God, what does it take? And then they were like, we really like your insight into some stuff. And then they offered me the council part, and then I was like, oh, okay, what does it mean? And then we go from there. So I do a lot. They send me a lot of articles, and you probably come across that where I write about team building and talent management.
I saw there was an article where you had 15 elements in building internal talents for business organizations. I saw that as well.
So I do a lot of work in regards to that. It's all doable. It sounds great and all of that, but it's all doable. And I think it's coming back to about where you want to be. Where you want to be, and are you, and I think everyone needs to do a little vision board, put it in your room, where you want to be, the avenues you want to take, and keep that vision. Keep
and
it
not burning bridges whilst at it. You mentioned in the beginning. Okay, so now that you're a coach, do you have mentees, people that you mentor all across the world?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I have, because I've been in the healthcare profession, I have lots of, nurses and junior doctors and stuff who reach out to me and ask me for guidance, and that, it can be quite heavy. So I sometimes make them go through an email and filter it through. But I do believe in giving you the tools to build it. I tell you what to do, give you the tools, you run with it. If you fall, that's okay. You get up and you run again.
You run again.
And so I have people from all over, and and chief executives from different companies and professors and all sorts who ask me for.
Is there an age limit to the kind of people you mentor?
No, as a matter of fact, I love children. I think children are the future in every aspect, and I think it's really important, taken in context, safeguarding. But I think it's really important for you to actually start to direct your child is like a tree. If you just leave it, it will grow wherever. Direct your child into what you see is their talent, their rich talent, and actually help them to become greater than they ever would be.
Fabulous.
And I know that economics is always a problem. I come from a very poor, humble household in the early days, and I do understand economic constraint, but I think it's about you as a parent or a single mother, single father, really rushing in there and paving that way whilst your child is coming behind you, and you are focused. You're focused that your child is going to get there, and it will happen.
When I was reading about you, I also realized that you run a consultancy.
Yes.
Is it global?
It is global. I open in Ghana as well.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
And exactly what do you do with the consultancy?
The consultancy is helping healthcare organizations to revisit their strategic and operational activities, data insight management, using real data to reflect on what you're doing and to look at the commercial aspect of it.
Is there a reason you opened in Ghana? It could have been anywhere, so why Ghana?
Yes, it was between here or Rwanda, but I love Ghana. I just love Ghana. I love the people. And Ghana, you know, I have to be honest with you, the first time my mom came to Ghana, she's here now. Yesterday was her birthday. We were at the Gold Coast restaurant.
Happy birthday, Mama.
We were at the Gold Coast restaurant having a great time. But first my mom came here. She bent down and kissed the ground and she said, I'm home.
The land is blessed.
Yeah, she said, I'm home. And if anything, I want you to know this is my home.
Wow.
And this is where my mom feels really comfortable. And I bring her here all the time. And so, yes.
You opened the consultancy here?
Yes,
Why
I opened it
Ghana,
here. And we are about to open a women health and well-being center here.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we can get international people to come here and your local great doctors that you have here, fantastic doctors you have here, to actually work together to do some real innovative insights.
Okay. So are you putting up an event together anytime soon?
Yes, on the 19th, we have a hybrid event.
This month?
Yeah, 19th of this month, we have
That's in 2
hybrid.
days, today, 17th.
I know.
Oh.
And on Saturday, we have the conference and the awards. We awarding a lot of the Ghanaian doctors for their incredible international work that they do all over the world. Recognition from Dr. Beatrice, Dr. Osei, Dr. Numa. There's so many of your great doctors who have written great articles, great research that you can use anywhere in the world, and we want to recognize them. And so on Saturday, we are going to have an award ceremony, and all is welcome. It's a free event, by the way.
Venue where?
It's at the Holiday Inn, Accra. It's a free event. And just to let you know, Consam Medical School, which is based in America, is supporting this, Republic Bank, others. But Consam Medical School, the drive is to get students back into medicine and all types of medicine, whether it's using AI, telehealth, whatever. And they're also going to be coming here to Ghana to help create a medical school with sponsorship.
Fabulous.
And work with your universities.
I'm looking forward to it. You inspire me a lot, and I'm sure there are so many women out there that you inspire. This is your camera. I need you to speak to that little girl watching you right now who feels she's too small, she's too little, and she doesn't have the resources to make it. What would you tell that young woman out there?
I think the first thing I would say to her is that I never had a pair of glasses because no one knew that I couldn't see until I was 9 years old.
Are you kidding?
And wherever you are and whatever is going on in your family life, no matter what it is, I want you every day to get write something. Write something every single day on a piece of paper about who you will be. It's very important. You take a paper and you write who you will be, because that will help to fuel your spirit. And every month, at the end of the month, you go back and you read it. Oh, on Monday I said I wanted to be a doctor, but Tuesday I wanted to, that's okay. And you keep doing that all the time to fuel your spirit. The next thing I want you to do is to actually look around and find your aunties or anyone and say, I want to do this. Do you know how I could get more information? And see who you might know who's doing the job, and if you can volunteer, spend some time. Age is no barrier to volunteering in that place. But more importantly, I want to say to all women and men who are doing great jobs and have great certifications, please look back. Please just turn your head slightly and look back at the people who are around you, talent management, people who are cleaning and doing all the tasks that you may consider to be menial. And there's nothing wrong with you taking half an hour of God's time to say to them, how can I help you? How can I develop you? Do you have another business on the side? How can I help you? That would be such an incredible blessing. What good is it that you have all these degrees and PhDs and doctors
anybody.
and you just being adored? I don't believe in adoration. I believe that adoration comes from seeing others grow.
Doc, we are grateful that you came. Actually, very inspiring. We also caught up with Dr. Francis Ali Osman, the neurosurgeon. I'm sure you're very familiar with him. Exactly. He's also doing exploits in the world of healthcare, all the way in the US of A. So to have a woman also doing it, it's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
I know. Thank you,
your
Cookie, for having me
with us. We are so privileged to have you this morning, and all the best with everything that you're doing in Ghana, and all the best with the event on the 19th
and the 20th
and the 20th as well. Okay, so Dr. Michaeline Holdermatch has been my guest this morning. You had a conversation. If you missed it, we streamed live on Facebook. You can go back and take a look at what our conversation was about this morning. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your stay in Ghana. This is still TV3 New Day. We'll be back with